Hi everyone, it's Moonlight Mason, and the camera is angled very strangely, I know, and it's because I was just trying to get the lighting somewhat decent. But anyways, how are you guys? I'm doing well. I've been really actually completely overwhelmed with work, and I guess that's good. So we had a huge busy spell for a while there. Now it's kind of calmed down, and I had one of my subscribers want to know the state of my eyes. Now I have made I believe it's 2 or 3 other videos on my eyes, and I will link those cards right around this time up above if you want to start from the beginning of this journey. But basically I'm going to update you on my eyes, which began a couple of years ago with me having floaters. Now, many of you have commented that you're just finding out that you're having floaters now and that you're scared and you don't know what it is. And I completely understand because I've been where you are. And the good thing about having floaters is that you get to go to an ophthalmologist, and you really want to go to an ophthalmologist because if you have floaters, there are 3 different kinds, and there are, I believe, 2 of them that are concerning enough that may require further treatment. Now, in my case, what happened is I had floaters, and so I had to go to the ophthalmologist. And when I got there and they do all of these tests, which, by the way, none of them are uncomfortable. None of them hurt or anything. The only thing that's kind of uncomfortable is having to hold your eyes open for an extended period of time while you push a button, while you see flashes of light in your peripheral vision or wherever. And that's uncomfortable sometimes because you feel like you're messing up. I mean, you're not really sure if you saw a flash. Sometimes it actually goes on a little too long, even 10 minutes of sitting there in a certain position and your body doesn't really feel correctly placed. You might feel a little uncomfortable in your shoulders or something like that. But other than that, all of the tests that I've had, and the hardest test that I've had is where they check the pressure, because they actually touch your eyes with something. All the other tests doesn't really touch your eyes, right? But they can kind of sting your eyes because the light can be too bright or something like that, but nothing to be afraid of. But this one test, when they test the eye pressure, they put some drops in your eyes to have your eyes anesthetized, and they put 2 drops in each eye. And then sometimes you might get a little scared because sometimes they go right in and you're like, is that enough time or something like that? But you don't really feel anything. You might just feel like a little push or something, but you don't really feel any pain. Okay, so I can assure you that being through this process for a couple of years, that don't worry about any pain. I understand that you're concerned because you're like, oh my God, all of a sudden I'm seeing floaters, which are like these little black specks, or they could be like a bug or a twig or a dot, or they can take different forms. And you actually, when you look towards a blank surface, like a door or something like that, you can see little black things, moving around. Sometimes they're mobile, sometimes they're still, and those are floaters. And there is a floater that happens in the back of your retina, in the back, way in the back part of the retina, and that one you don't really have to be too concerned with. So one of the reasons you do have to go to an ophthalmologist is to get diagnosed, right? And then there's the other floater where that jello-is, it's like a gel, right in front of your optic nerve and right in the front of your eye. Sometimes it's like a muscle and it retracts, or as you age, everything changes, and a little piece, think about like jello or something like that, and a little piece comes loose and starts, floating around. And then what's going to happen is, if it's in your line of vision, you'll see it. So there's that, and then there's another one that has to do with the optic nerve. Okay, So actually, to be honest, I don't even know what kind of floaters I had. I don't really know. I think sometimes I still see them, but my brain, after a while of having floaters, your brain kind of gets used to them and then you don't see them. So I don't really see as many as I did when I first discovered them, and then I was all scared and everything. But I'm still under treatment with the ophthalmologist. And at first, when I went in to see what was up with my floaters in my eyes, right? I'm really way up here. Let me try to put the camera up because I feel like I keep doing that. So let me just put the camera up so I can stand up straight. Okay. So at first when I went in, they do all of these other tests, which are great because, you know, you're going to the ophthalmologist and they're going to check all these things. And they discovered that I had cataracts in both eyes. And so that is a huge deal. That was like 7 months of just a lot of drama for me. It wasn't good. I was scheduled for surgery 3 times. And all this other stuff happened that you can hear about in these other videos. I ended up not having the surgery, and in the process, choosing another ophthalmologist. I think I've been to like 3 different ophthalmologists, and I finally found one that I really liked. It's a practice, so I've seen 2 of the ophthalmologists there, and I'm really happy where I'm going. As a matter of fact, I'm going tomorrow at 2. So I go like every 2 to 3 months, or no, every 3 to 6 months is when I go. Let me get back. They found the cataracts, right? But then they found out that I also had glaucoma. Okay, so I've got cataracts, glaucoma, floaters, and the least of your worries when you have these 3 are floaters, right? The other least of your worries are, in my case, the cataracts, because they're not really, even though I have them in both eyes, and yes, I do need surgery, and yes, I was scheduled for surgery. Since all that, they kept rescheduling the surgery date. Since all that happened, the pressure in my eyes have increased. And so that's called glaucoma. Now, what's interesting about my glaucoma is I've already been scheduled for 2 surgeries, laser surgeries for glaucoma to decrease the pressure in my left eye. Let me explain to you what's been happening with that is, I was scheduled for the first surgery for glaucoma. Every time you go, they check the pressure. They do it by a machine, and then someone physically checks it, and then the doctor checks it. So you've got like 1 machine and 2, like, you know, maybe a physician's assistant and the actual ophthalmologist checking the pressure in your eyes just to see if all the numbers compare. Well, I don't know why, they don't know why, but the pressure in my eyes keep going up and then they keep going down. So, you know, when I went there and it was 19, they kind of freaked out. They said, that's too much. You're doing both drops 2 times. Okay, I have these 2 eye drops, one at night. No, wait a minute. Yeah, at night I put 2 different eye drops in both eyes. So eye drop number 1, A, in this eye, and then you do eye drop B in this eye, and this eye. And then in the morning, I only do eye drop A in each eye. That's what I've been doing, and that's what they want me to keep doing. And in doing that, I've lowered the pressure in my eyes from 19 to 9, which it was last time, which was about maybe a month ago. I went in and the pressure was 9, and they decided not to do the surgery because they're not going to do glaucoma surgery when the pressure in your eye is 9, so we're going to wait. And because remember, before that it was 19. So that is what I'm going in for tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I'm going in, and we are going to see what the pressure in my eyes is to make a determination, like if I need the, because there's something with the left eye with my optic nerve. There's a little damage going on there as well, and they're checking the measurements to see if it's getting worse. And last time I went in, it was getting worse. So that's another reason why they want to do this laser surgery for glaucoma, and it kind of, it's like unclogging the drain in your sink so that the fluid in your eye can drain. But the problem is that they don't know where the fluid is being held up. It could be held up at the drain, or it could be held up further down. So when you go in for glaucoma surgery, which is what I'm going to do, they do it and it'll only help up on top for the drain. You kind of just hope that that's what it is. I've already been approved for it. I already went in for it last month, and they said, oh my God, your pressure is 9. I don't know what it's going to be tomorrow. I wish we knew what increases the pressure in your eye, what decreases the pressure, and then I would have some control over the pressure in my eye, and we can move on to my cataracts and see what we're going to do there. I noticed that a lot of you are scared and frightened when this first happens to you, and I understand, because that was me, and I was there. And I think that if you watch the other 2 videos, you'll see where I was at, my state of being at the time when I found out about the when I saw floaters like out of nowhere one day. So anyways, I wanted to share with you not to be afraid, because like I mentioned, I've been going through this for a few years, and it's kind of a blessing, because having floaters, right, motivates you to go to an ophthalmologist. You have to go to an ophthalmologist. Some of you will need a referral from your primary care physician. You need to go there first. But the thing is, you need to go, because when you don't go to an ophthalmologist, you won't know if you have glaucoma, which could end up in you being actually blind. Okay, so that's my first issue that they want to deal with, is my glaucoma. And then you don't want cataracts to get out of hand where, you actually see white, and you don't want to get it that far. So the earlier you go to an ophthalmologist, the better. So go ahead and share with me any thoughts or any questions that you have on the bottom. I hope I did my best to answer some of your questions. I don't want you to be afraid. I want you to know that I'm a friend and I'm going through it with you. And do subscribe to my channel. I speak very rarely on my eyes. There's a playlist on my channel. So yeah, if you want to subscribe. I do a variety of content, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.